You didn't click on this video by accident. You arrived here now because your soul can't take it anymore. The dissonance, the numbness, the strange feeling that everyone else is playing a game you never agreed to join. Rudolf Steiner knew this exact moment would come in your life, the moment you'd realize you are living in the wrong world. And it's not just a poetic metaphor. It's a literal spiritual truth. The world you've adapted to, obeyed, and tried to fit into, it was never designed for your soul to thrive. It was designed to contain you, not awaken you. Steiner taught that we inhabit two worlds simultaneously, the sensory world, built from appearances, and the supersensible world where your true essence lives. But here's the catch. Most people live entirely in the wrong one. You were born into a system that conditioned you to see only the surface, job titles, social roles, clocks ticking, screens flashing. You were taught to ignore the real signals, the ones that whisper from the core of your being, this isn't it, there's more. And if you're honest, you've heard those whispers for years. Maybe since you were a child. Can you feel it now? That invisible pressure to keep pretending? That emotional fatigue from faking interest in conversations that feel dead? That creeping thought that your life is somehow off track, even though you've done everything right? Steiner said this unease isn't a flaw. It's evidence. It proves your soul is awake. You don't fit because the modern world was never built for souls like yours. It was built to serve what Steiner called Ahrimanic forces, cold powers that feed on distraction, fragmentation, and material obsession. Steiner didn't say this to make you a victim. He said it to set you free. Because once you see that the world around you is a hypnotic illusion, organized not to elevate but to suppress, you stop blaming yourself. The depression isn't a personal weakness. The restlessness isn't a psychological issue. These are spiritual alarms. You're not malfunctioning. You're awakening. But awakening hurts when you've spent your whole life being told that the illusion is real. Take a moment to breathe that in. You're not broken. You're just living in the wrong world. History is full of others who realized this. Leonardo da Vinci felt it. So did Emily Dickinson. Even Nikola Tesla spoke of living in a reality that no one around him could see. These weren't just geniuses. They were souls, awake in a world asleep like you. So ask yourself, when did you first feel like this world wasn't right? What moment broke your trust in its promises? What memory haunts you because it told the truth, and you buried it to survive? If you've been waiting for confirmation, this is it. Steiner knew why you feel like this, and in the next block, he will reveal exactly how to reclaim your soul's true world, the one hidden beneath the noise. Rudolf Steiner didn't just describe your condition, he explained its architecture. According to him, what you're feeling is not confusion, it's cosmic memory. Your soul remembers a time before this distortion. It carries the imprint of a world that is real, warm, interconnected, a world where truth is not censored, where time bends to spirit, not to schedule. So when Steiner said you're living in the wrong world, he meant that your consciousness has been abducted, spiritually displaced, and unless you reclaim your perception, you will keep suffering. In a world that was never yours, Steiner called this hijacked reality the Ahrimanic world, a system ruled by cold intellect, automation, mechanization of the soul. It rewards you for losing yourself. It praises you for ignoring your intuition. It programs you to identify with what you do, not what you are. And because everyone around you has adapted to this system, you begin to doubt yourself. But Steiner's revelation was this: if you feel insane in an insane world, it means you're sane. This is why you feel empty in crowded rooms, why you feel tired after achieving goals that were supposed to fulfill you, why no material success ever feels like enough. You're not defective, you're misaligned. You're tuned to a higher frequency, but the world around you speaks static. Steiner would say, you're experiencing a karmic call, an inner rebellion against spiritual exile. And this rebellion is not a phase, it's a mission. The universe is asking you to remember where you came from. So what's the solution? Steiner didn't give formulas. He gave inner exercises. He taught that to escape the false world, you must ignite the organs of supersensible perception. This begins by reclaiming your thoughts. He said, think with your heart and feel with your head. That sounds paradoxical until you live it. It means you must stop thinking as they taught you to think. Begin to observe your thoughts as clouds. Question who placed them there. Begin to feel into your experience of reality, not what it looks like, but what it feels like behind the surface. You're not here to conform, you're here to see. The more you begin to see through this illusion, the more the real world will start to emerge around you. Synchronicities, deep dreams, deep, intuitive insights, encounters that shake you. These are the early signs that your soul is returning home. Now pause. If any of this feels like it's describing your life, it's because it is. And this is exactly why you need to subscribe right now. Because this channel is a place where we say the unspeakable truths out loud, where we remember together, where you stop living in exile. Comment below, when did you first realize you might be living in the wrong world? What broke the illusion for you? Your answer might be the spark someone else needs to remember. We'll walk the path of reconnection. How do you actually exit the wrong world and awaken to the one your soul belongs to? Steiner gave the steps, and you're ready now to take them. And so it begins, not a journey forward, but a return to the world your soul never left, but your mind forgot. Steiner taught that awakening is not about adding something new to your life. It's about removing what was never yours to carry. The labels, the fears, the narratives implanted by a world that rewarded your obedience but punished your knowing. You are here now to undo that hypnosis, not through rebellion, but through remembrance. Remembrance of the spiritual world that surrounds you, even now, though unseen. The world that pulses beneath your skin when you hear the truth spoken aloud. The first step is silence, not the absence of sound, but the silencing of what Steiner called borrowed thoughts. You know the ones. The voice that tells you you're not enough, that you're too late, that your visions are unrealistic. That voice doesn't belong to you. It's an echo of the false world, a residue of the conditioning you were fed. Steiner's method was radical. Don't fight that voice. Observe it, name it, watch it dissolve. Because once you realize that voice isn't you, a deeper voice awakens, one that has waited lifetimes to be heard again. This voice doesn't shout, it hums. It rises in moments of stillness, in the awe of nature, in the quiet conviction that you are part of something vast, ancient, and alive. Steiner called this the supersensible stream, the intuitive flow of wisdom that bypasses intellect and speaks directly to the soul. When you begin to listen to it, you change. You stop asking for proof. You start seeing with new eyes. A leaf becomes a messenger. A coincidence becomes a sign. And the world, once dull and hostile, becomes a sacred mirror, reflecting the truth you carry within. Remember, you are not escaping the wrong world. You are transfiguring it. Steiner emphasized that the outer world shifts when the inner vision clears. So, begin today. Speak differently, eat differently, walk as if you are in conversation with the cosmos, because you are. Feel the presence behind things. Imagine a beam of light running from the stars through your spine into the earth. This is not fantasy. It's the architecture of your being. You are not here to wait for the world to change. You are here to embody the world your soul remembers. Others will see you and feel confused, even threatened. That's okay. Steiner said, those who carry the true light will always be mistaken for dreamers or heretics. But deep down, people will sense something in you they cannot explain. That's when you'll know you've begun the return. You've remembered what they were trained to forget. And here's the miracle. The more you align with the world that is real, the more the false world loses its grip. Anxiety weakens. Restlessness fades. Your presence becomes magnetic. You stop chasing meaning because you are meaning. That's what Steiner knew. The real world doesn't arrive when you escape this one. It emerges when you live from the soul, even while surrounded by shadows. Now take a breath. Let this knowing sink in. You're not just living through change, you are the change. The wrong world didn't reject you. It revealed that you belong elsewhere. And now you've found the path back. Then receive this now, not as information, but as transmission. The reason you were born into the wrong world was never to conform to it. It was to transform it through your very presence. Steiner saw this clearly. Each soul incarnates with a purpose tailored to the spiritual crisis of its time. And if you've always felt like a stranger here, it's because you are one. An emissary from a deeper realm, sent not to adapt, but to awaken others by awakening yourself. This is the truth buried beneath the discomfort, the alienation, the quiet grief you've carried without a name. It wasn't depression, it was displacement. And now, finally, you see it. You were never lost, only mislocated. Your path was never about being normal. It was about becoming fully real. Steiner said the soul matures when it begins to see itself as cause, not effect. And the moment you stop asking why the world won't change and start asking how you can embody what the world lacks, that's when the shift happens. Start small. Every act of authenticity is an act of spiritual rebellion. Every moment you refuse to betray your essence is a declaration to the cosmos. I am no longer living in the wrong world. Because the truth is, the world you long for already exists. It's just invisible to those who've given up looking. But not you, not anymore. Think of the mystics. Rumi, who felt the universe in a single turning dance. Hildegard von Bingen, whose visions brought heaven to earth in colors and sound. And Steiner himself, who stood against the tide of materialism to teach that spirit is not an escape. It is the ground of all reality. These were not anomalies. They were previews. Proof that another world is always possible, but only through consciousness. So, what now? Now, you walk forward with different eyes. Now you commit. You become a guardian of inner truth, a builder of invisible temples, a bearer of memory in a world that forgot. And as you do, you'll find others, quiet souls who've seen what you've seen, felt what you felt. Together you will begin to co-create what Steiner called the new earth, not through revolution, but through revelation. One soul at a time, choosing to live in the right world, even in the midst of the wrong one. This is your invitation, not just to awaken, but to embody the world your soul chose long ago. And this channel is here to walk that path with you. Every step a return, every video a remembering. If this touched something in you, share below. What will you now do differently, knowing that you've been living in the wrong world? What part of your old life no longer fits? And what new truth are you ready to live? You've always known. And now, you're no longer alone. You're not just watching this video. You're stepping back into the world that was waiting for you all along.